Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bobble Pod. And on this episode, we're going to talk about live video marketing, which is another very interesting topic that came from my digital trends in terms of key digital trends for 2023, if I can get the year right. It's still early. But before we start, as always, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe if you're listening for the first time. And if you're a continued listener and supporter, thank you for your continued input. If you're on YouTube, hello YouTube, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, press the bell notification because our episodes come out every Tuesday. New topic, new insights, very educational. So don't forget to support. So live video marketing, a very, very interesting one. Live video is becoming more and more part of the norm. Video in perspective, in particular, I've got some stats here. I always like to start with some stats. Is that actually live videos, users watch live videos 3 times longer than pre-recorded videos, and live content generates 6 times more interaction than pre-recorded content. So 28% of video marketers intend to use Facebook Live as part of their strategy in 2023. So that's just one platform within Facebook, but it's much, much higher on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. Every social platform has some now live element to it, bar Twitter, Pinterest, I believe Snapchat as well. But that's the way elements are going, because live elements brings a different dimension to what you're doing as a brand. As you know, we use a platform called GWY, and it says that 2 in 5 of younger people make more impulse decisions as part of the trend analysis report that launched out in 2023. So go to GWI, look at the latest trends report. The one for 2023 is a very, very interesting read. What we'll do is we'll make a note and we'll put a link to where you can download that if you're on YouTube, and it'll be in the description. And another interesting stat was that users relying on actual reviews dropped by 12% in terms of as one of the elements they trust in terms of like written reviews. What they are doing in terms of the younger generation in particular is they're going onto social media platforms and looking at the social presence of that company. How is it engaging? That's where they're building their trust more, is through elements like, oh, yes, this company has great content on their social media. They talk about their products. I'll give you an example. We helped launch a company called Gadfurb in the UK recently, Gadget Refurbishment. That's what it's called, Gadfurb. And all they do is refurbished Apple products, mainly iPhones. And as part of that, one thing we realized is because you can't get next day delivery on these products, they take 8 to 12 days because there's a certain process the product has to go through in terms of checking the IEM number, whatever it is. And they've got to make sure that this phone hasn't been, stolen, and make sure it's legitimate and registered, etc. And it takes process, and I have to check the quality of it because it's all grade A+. And we were like, well, your customers don't know about that. There need to be videos and content about that, not just on your website, but on your social platforms as well. And then they came in and we did a whole video session about it, got it recorded, and sales increased significantly because there were explainer videos as well as not just content of what it was. And yes, that's pre-recorded, and this episode is about live recorded, but that's the type of content younger audiences are looking for to build trust with brands. And then when you go live, and you see this on TikTok, you see so many people now go live with their e-commerce stores and everything they do. The engagement levels are really, really high, and people will buy there and then as well. Remember, 2 in 5 of the young population make impulse decisions through social media in terms of product buying. So live video really skyrocketed from 2020, specifically because of the pandemic, because a lot of the one-to-one interactions we were having all got paused or became to an end. It emerged as a way for startups and specifically larger brands to continue to connect with customers. And it's become almost like the norm now, because if you look at 2020, and the pandemic, we're coming up to 3 years from initial lockdown now. Can you believe that? 3 years since the initial lockdown? Because I know for me, because in 6 weeks I'll be 6 weeks for my call it my kidneyversary, which is when I had my kidney transplant, a few days before actual lockdown. And what it means today is that outlook and the kind of content that's now streamable and available is totally being transformed. So who uses live video? So live video is used not just by companies, but predominantly by influencers. Influencers go live all the time on platforms, whether to promote products, promote themselves, promote their music. You got music artists promoting like virtual events now. We had a lot of that during lockdown. You've got Broadway companies streaming full-length productions. You've got loads of things being streamed live in elements. Like, I'm Sikh. Obviously, I come from a religious Sikh background. Even our temple live streams the service on a Sunday now on the website and on YouTube. So, that's how advanced we are. We're like, how can we, get people that are still struggling or have social anxiety, older generation get back into community and elements like that again? It all gets live. And it also means that when people are hosting specific events like wedding ceremonies, birthday ceremonies at the temple, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it's live streamed on YouTube. That happened a lot with people that were getting married during lockdown and saved a lot of money. Well done to you. I wish I could have. I'm still single, but I wish I had someone. I would have saved myself a lot of money. And trust me, ending weddings can get expensive, especially when it's a free bar. So we divulge. But back on topic. But you see the idea of how live video kind of became about and become the norm. And even with our first podcast launch, if you go back to the first ever episode with me, Keith, Anush, and Claire, it was live. And we streamed it live on YouTube and social media and LinkedIn. It was LinkedIn live and YouTube live. And it was done elements. I remember it was part of the Leeds Digital Festival and it helped really kick off Bobble Pod at that time. And we've evolved Bobble Pod because, unfortunately, as people know, Keith passed away and we still keep him in our memories. Claire's doing amazingly at Trio Media, and that agency's really rocketed off. And Nush, same, who was based in Armenia. And again, Nush was in a whole different part of the world when we do that. The technology is there. So beyond holding live events, actually live video should be towards the top of your priority list for video marketing in 2023. Even as lives get back to normal, live video isn't going away. It's actually growing. And we talked about the stats that actually consumers generally prefer video content overall. They engage much higher with video content. When we're doing ads, we're always on cross social media, even with performance max campaigns. We're asking for video content. Even when I say to Josh to create the snippets, I say, I want you to create it for mobile screen edit, please. And I went, because we want it in that specific way. That's the kind of content we're demanding and we're wanting, and that's the way we want to perceive it. Because when people are on LinkedIn, when they are on TikTok, when they're on Instagram, they're watching a lot of that content on their mobile phone. So what's really, really interesting is that more B2B marketers are reporting the use of video email marketing as an effective tool. This was part of the stats I pulled off. So it said, only 28% of video marketers intend to use Facebook Live as part of their strategy, and this stat is similar across social media platforms in general. But more B2B marketers are reporting the use of video email marketing as an effective tool. And video is encouraging more people across elements like email as well, because normally you see an email as just to be a basic content element. And you're probably thinking, why am I talking about email in a live video marketing podcast? I will create the link in a second. Is people are trying to engage their existing customers, no matter what demographic they are, through video content. It's a stage of evolution. Emails are going from text to video, and eventually even stuff like emails and that information will then be pushed out in the long-term future, just like a live video. And people might subscribe to that, and then they might get like a quick notification of this 2-minute live video is now going live. This company's giving its update. Now, that might seem far-fetched, and you're thinking, well, how will we all do that and keep on top of brands? But The thing is, it'll happen again and again and again throughout the day in terms of actual different elements of video coming in and different kind of content being shared. We ourselves as a company haven't done much live video content except on TikTok, where we've kind of shown what's going on in the office. We've had people engage with us and tell us what's going on, ask people questions. When we've done planning sessions, we've said, we're talking about, where are we going to go next for our social events as a company, as a team, give us your recommendations, etc. And people chime in. But you need to have a strategy with anything else. Video, we have a strategy with it. We record at bite-sized events, we record our marketing showcase events, we record our podcasts, we create a video content strategy, we create snippets. Those snippets launch across social media with links to watch the full or stream the full podcast episode or watch it on specifically YouTube. Like with live, you need a strategy, a content strategy around it. Because it's live, you can't make as many errors and many faults because it's live. Now, the thing is, I can cough, sneeze, do whatever I want on this podcast right now because ultimately, Callum, our amazing editor, say hi, Callum.
Hello, you all right?
He is here. I haven't had him on mic much over the last few episodes, but pan to him. Let's get to Callum. This is a genius behind Bobble Pod.
Hello.
Now, if this was live, that would have been a fun element to do and introduce Callum to, and people could see elements. And if you look at other podcasts like Impulsive or Joe Rogan, which are pre-recorded, but imagine if they did more live content, there's less room for error in terms of what you say and how you say it. And because there's less room for error in terms of what you say and how you say it, like an example is in between we record episodes, I do a little Manni rants. I'm not going to talk about them because Callum will have a go at me. But I couldn't really do that in a live environment because some of the stuff I'll say will be, I wouldn't say controversial, but they're an opinion. Look at him, but pan to Callum when I say controversial. Give me controversial. What's your opinion, Callum? Tell him.
It's things that in the world of media with slightly. It's a little bit too close to the line, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I love playing close to the line. I love playing devil's advocate because if I'm on a debate and I'm on one side, I will play the other side just to see how my side reacts. That's the only way if you know if you're on the winning side or not. Can you argue against yourself and protect yourself from that particular argument and make a contrived, actual valid, debatable point before you lose? And most people fail in that element. And then they tend to attack you and get defensive. And then I turn around and say, well, by the way, I support what you're saying, but the way you're supporting it is actually wrong. And I can see why you're losing the argument because you're not making confirmed elements. Sometimes you have to play devil's advocate to do it. But if I did that live, it would cause, I wouldn't say mayhem, but playing close to the line in terms of what I say in between would be elements. So that's what I mean. When it comes back to live video, there's a lot more specifically in marketing you can go wrong. Think of the brands that would go live. You got your Louis Vuittons, your Gucci's, you've got, Coca-Cola, Red Bull, Apple, whoever it is. When they go live, they have to be very careful about what you say, especially in the modern age and the modern day, especially in the Western world. Everything you say now is attackable. Hell, Mr. Beast did a video about curing 1,000 people's blindnesses around the world and got attacked. That's the level of how much, step aside the fact that, it was an amazing gesture and it was heartwarming to watch that video. And I'm a big fan of Mr. Beast because he's a great content creator. He is an influencer. He is a role model for people. And I just loved his Twitter response when that happened, when they were trying to cancel him for that. And he was like, Twitter, billionaires should not, spend more money and help other people out. Mr. Beast helps cure blindness with 1,000 people. Twitter, Mr. Beast bad. It's like, you can't even win, can you? I felt for him. I was like, you can't even win. What's he meant to do that? Do that in silence. Unfortunately, for those people that realize is that because we watched that video, he earns more revenue from the big companies that don't pay tax, which allowed him then to go on and do that element and do more stuff and help more people. That's, unfortunately, these treatments aren't free. Securing 1,000 people around the world, Binance isn't free. But he couldn't do that live. That's all pre-recorded content. So you've got to expect the unexpected with live content. And that's what I'm trying to get back to is live video is still in its infancy. That's why only 20% of video marketers tend to use it, which is an improvement. And that statistic will continue to grow over time, over the year. I'd be surprised if that's not closer to 40% by 2024. And we'll do a lot more video marketing and get our clients. But again, that's part of an organic social approach, really, because that live video content really can't come from us. You can't really do a live video paid advertising. Well, not yet, essentially. It's literally camera, we're going to go live, 2 hour, thousands of, well, hundreds of thousands, how many followers you've got as a brand. But again, what you say and how you react is very important. Also, what people might say and troll in the comment section is going to be very, very, very important. The biggest thing, the biggest issue and deterrent that I see brands having about live video is that it's live. It's like being on the news. It's like being on TV. You can't stray away from the topic, and you've got to be careful what you say, how you say it, whether you call it political correctness in terms of how you frame it, because it's a brand reputation on the line. One wrong move or wrong thing, and that thing's going to get clipped, edited, and it's going to be everywhere. You see what I mean? So yes, live video is on the rise and more businesses are going to use it. The takeaway I want you to take from live video on a positive side is it's an opportunity to build engagement and gain a competitive advantage by embracing live now, because it's grown a lot more in the last couple of years. But if you start now in 2023 and iron out any issues, any out of these live issues that I talked about, get a real good content strategy in place, you have better knowledge and better insights based on the statistics, on the engagements, how many people jumped in. It'll let you know, do you need to do more brand engagement in terms of your ad campaign to drive more followers? You know, do you need to push on specific topics based on the engagement and the comments people are giving back? What kind of content do they want? Listen to your customers. When you go live, you can bring in other people into the conversations, partners you work with. I mean, we might even try a podcast this year just to see how it goes and see what comes from it. But again, it's live. There's no room for error. We can't really script everything, but we'll have to have points of reference all the way through. So live video marketing, it was one of my top digital marketing trends. Might have gone on a little bit of a tangent, a couple of elements, but at least you get an idea of where it is and where it's going. It needs to be part of your marketing strategy moving forward. Start just testing and playing with it. What's the worst that can go wrong unless you say something, extremely controversial and go beyond the line, as we say? Just stick to a content strategy, focus on what you want to achieve from that live element, see what engagement you get. And like with everything, over time, you'll get better at it. You'll get more learnings from it, and it will drive better engagement. And the stats speak about that. Remember, 6 times more interactions from live content generated than any other kind of pre-recorded video. That's very, very valuable to you, especially if you're trying to target new audiences. So try it out, test it, let me know how it goes. And we will catch you on our next episode, where I'm going to be talking about a cookie-free world, which was my second top 3 digital marketing trend of 2023. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell notification because our episodes come out weekly. Don't forget to send any questions to @BobbleDigital or use the hashtags Mr. Bobble, Ask Bobble, or #BobblePod. And we'll catch you on the next episode.